So I was just going about my morning routine, and I was just really thinking about, you know, a lot of people tell me how weird I am or how crazy that I am because I do things out of the norm, and I have really become okay with that because doing things that are not normal for people is scary because it's new to them, and new is scary to a lot of people because it's the unknown. They aren't used to it, and typically when somebody's not used to something, a new equates to fear. But how are you supposed to go into the unknown and experience new things if you don't face that fear? And I want to experience new things. I want to find what's out there for me. I want to go into the unknown and see what else is out there. That's what we're here for. That's what we're supposed to be doing, and that's part of the experience. So I don't know. I think that's what it's all about. That's why we're here. If we don't get out to see what's to be seen and what's to find and explore, and what's the point? Life would be pretty boring if we didn't go out and explore and to find new experiences. Feel new feelings. Even the pain and the sorrow and the scary. All of it that's part of it. If we don't get to experience that part, we don't get to appreciate the good. If we don't get to sit in the bad, then we don't get to feel the joy in the little things and really cherish how beautiful the wind blows through the leaves and the trees, or how beautiful the sky looks right before a storm, right? To learn to love the laugh lines, because that's how much you've smiled in your life. To deeply appreciate the evenings that you get to sit with your kids and just belly laugh, because those are the moments that are really special. Not getting to buy a fancy house or a bougie car, designer handbags. Who gives a shit about that stuff? It's those moments you get to spend with your family. Sitting with your dogs and getting to, you come home and they're so excited to see you, and that's unconditional love. Not a $60,000 fucking car that can drive itself. Driving around and seeing these houses with pillars and them spending $80,000 on landscaping and then working themselves to death and not getting to spend time with their kids. They're missing it. You know, my kid spending all this time on her phone and just seeing her rotting away just breaks my heart every day. She's young, so there's time. And then, you know, Sophia, she just calls me crying because she can't pay her tickets and she can't pay to get her car legal, and you know, her boyfriend's such a dumb shit. And then they come over and we just sit on the couch and we just sit and laugh and we play these dumb games, and I just soak it up. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm here. And I just love every second of it. That's life. That's why I exist. Sitting outside and just looking at the grass. I used to work so hard so I could come home and spend $1,000 on Christmas for them and Sophia. One year I bought her like 12 pairs of shoes and spent like $700 on clothes for her. Meanwhile, I was drinking myself to death, and she moved out when she was 17. Now I just sitting with my kids and laughing is why I'm here. You know, getting to visit my nephew and his fiance, or getting to go see my mom. You know, 5 minutes on the phone with my brother-in-law. That's all I need. There's nothing that makes me happier. Waking up in the morning, drinking a cup of coffee, sitting outside, listening to the birds, truly. I can't think of anything better. Sitting on this porch swing. You know, I'm driving around in the van and finding a nice little camping spot by the water and seeing other people that get it. Taking some deep breaths, knowing that I'm in control of my body, figuring that out, not seeking external, knowing that everything I need is within me. Damn. Figuring that out. There's just no greater peace, no greater joy. You know, yesterday I went to the chiropractor and me and my youngest got massages, and I ended up talking to the lady that was doing the massage, and she was also totally in tune with herself, and we had fellowship the whole hour I was getting my massage, and it was fantastic. And it was so funny because, like, at the end, she goes, "You're all done," and I said, "Thanks for the massage, but more importantly, thanks for the fellowship. It was just so nice, that someone else was in tune with, knowing that she had everything she needed inside of her." And she, was just, and it was so funny because whenever she came out to get me, she was barefoot. And, she didn't need fancy stuff. And I had a really bad migraine, and she like, was rubbing, and it was so weird because she was like, rubbing all around, and she was like shaking, and it was like she was touching these pressure points and shaking, and then she went down my neck, on my sternum, around my boobs, around my rib cage, into my stomach, and it released so much tension and pressure. It came back later on throughout the day. I think a lot of it has to do with a lot of the pollen, but it was just crazy how she knew all these pressure points, and the body's just such a crazy thing. And I'm only a couple years into the woo-woo lifestyle, and just, I spent so many years running from myself and self-medicating and drinking and chasing external, just thinking that all the answers were outside, not knowing that they're all within me. But so there's so much learning, but it's just so fun to learn, and just finding myself and learning myself and sitting within me, to just sit in stillness and listen to myself and just be silent and just to hear me, to get overwhelmed and take some deep breaths and just be still, not have to run, not have to seek, just sit. I don't know, there's just so much healing in it, and it's just great, and I just love it. So, anyway, just sitting outside and feeling the wind and hearing the birds and watching the trees. It's just great.